Well, actually, Brendan, in Britain, Jeremy Corbyn, new leader of the Labour Party, has just been facing Prime Minister David Cameron in Parliament for the first time. It's been fireworky, to say the least. Anchor of Bloomberg TV's The Pulse, Francine Lacqua, joins us now from London. Francine, what do we learn about whether Jeremy Corbyn is going to be a little bit more moderate than his reputation or no out of these questions?
Yeah, funny. So you were mentioning fireworks. I think what people were maybe hoping for in Jeremy Corbyn was whether to see he was a little bit more moderate, as you're saying, with his hard left ideas, and whether he'd have maybe a little bit more oomph when questioning the Prime Minister. So these are his first, well, it's his first Westminster showdown, and I don't think it didn't not go to plan, but he certainly, Tom, you're going to like this, he decided to ask the people to actually put questions to the Prime Minister instead of himself.
Francine, Brendan Greeley and I noticed that Prime Minister Cameron looks like a banker. He looks like somebody from Savile Row. And Brendan, Mr. Corbyn was very tweedy and professorial. We don't look like this on the House of Commons floor, do we?
Well, you look like any number of things, but you generally don't look like that when you are asking questions in question time. I think that's the issue in the front of the bench. Francine, you know, we happened to dip in at a really interesting part of the debate earlier in the hour, which is Jeremy Corbyn said, you know, what about how can you possibly remove tax credits for poorer families? And the Prime Minister said, well, you know, we're going to introduce a living wage, so I don't understand what it is that you're asking. I thought this was question time. Are we already watching David Cameron delightedly take the center that has been abandoned by Labour?
I think we are. David Cameron was pretty aggressive over the weekend. As soon as we found out that Jeremy Corbyn was a new Labour leader, he tweeted out, look, this is a threat to national security. David Cameron may relish in this role. However, Brendan, the problem is that this country needs an opposition. They need a strong opposition because we're facing an EU referendum, right? The UK will vote on whether to stay within the EU or not. If you don't have a strong opposition, and this is why Prime Minister questions is so important, then you also risk David Cameron that's, you know, maybe too bold and doesn't take things seriously enough, and there's a serious risk that the citizens will eventually decide to leave the EU, especially if Jeremy Corbyn is not only lukewarm to Europe, but will actually vote for a Brexit, which we don't know yet.
Also, Francine, Tom really does want to know, he's frantically Googling it, who is David Cameron's tailor?
I have no idea, but I'll look it up for you. We can ask him, right?
That's what question time is for.
Briefing, Tom. This is, there you go. Jeremy Corbyn missed an opportunity to ask where he cut his suits.